Alana McLaughlin. Welcome to Chapel. Thanks for joining us this morning as we dwell together with Jesus. There's a lot happening at Trevecca, so let's take a few minutes and share a couple of things that are coming up. Join us for a spring break camping trip led by Bethany Frigo and enjoy some time camping with friends in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This will be from March 7th to the 11th. Next, the Loving Ourselves to Love Our Neighbor intercultural workshop featuring Dr. Christina Edmondson, led by Justin Jose, will be on Thursday, March 5th from 4 to 6 p.m. in the Jernigan's PDR. McClurkin Day is coming up on Friday, March 6th at 9 a.m. A group of high school students will be on campus for a special VIP visit. It's a chance for them to see what makes Trevecca so special. Be sure to give them a warm welcome and help them feel right at home. Lastly, March Madness is finally here. Baseball, softball, and basketball are all competing this week. Make sure to follow TNU Trojans on Instagram for more information. Come out and help defend the Hill. There's so much happening each week in our Trevecca community. You can keep up with it all on the Involve app, Course Dog, or by following @Life@Trevecca on Instagram. We'd love to see you at some of these events. For now, let's turn our hearts toward the Lord and enter into worship together.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to Chapel here in Boone Convocation and to our friends who are in Overflow in Benson. I do have a special note, especially for the Overflow crowd, but listen as well if you're in the room. We are taking the Overflow offline for Thursdays the rest of the semester. So a video Overflow in Benson only available on Tuesdays the rest of the semester because we have room to gather in here together on Thursdays now. So we'll enjoy being together on those days. This morning, we have a special experience. It's going to be a little different, maybe a lot different. I want to introduce our speaker for the day, and then he's going to take the first 40 minutes or so of chapel, and we're going to have some music and worship at the end, a moment there. But for the most part, Tanner Olson is our speaker for today. He is, if some of you know Tanner, Dr. Craig Shepard introduced me to his work. He's a poet, an author, a speaker, and communicator. He's the founder of an organization called Written to Speak. So he travels all over the country doing spoken word and poetry and special art kind of events. He's written several books, including his most recent one that just released this month, like a week or two ago, Getting Through What You're Going Through. So he's going to do a presentation today on that. I asked him, Tanner, what do you want to do today? Because he's a creative type. He does all sorts of creative art stuff. I said, we've got 50 minutes. He said, what if we did just sort of like a Netflix special? Like imagine a Netflix special where you've got a speaker that comes up and just does a thing with poetry and stories and spoken word things and I was like, beautiful, let's do it. So we're going to do it. So welcome Tanner Olson to the stage.
You oversold it already. I'm aware this is most likely your first time hearing me. Hello. I grew up down south among the palm trees with Mickey Mouse and a basketball hoop in front of our house. I wanted to be Michael Jordan until I was 13, and to this day, Space Jam is the greatest movie these blue eyes have ever seen. I'd rather have a cheeseburger than fame, and most days I'm called the wrong name. I'm the second son of my father. I stand 4 inches taller than my mother. My hero is my brother. And late one December, I said I do to a grace-filled goddess with eyes so beautiful they could shrink giants. And late last night, I was sent a gif or a gif while half asleep next to the other hole of me, and she couldn't see me giggling under the sheets as I watched a dog run into a glass door over and over and over and over and over. We talked about getting a dog of our own, and we did, and we named him Pancake. And I still have a hard time being present because I'm stuck in the past and I'm fixed on the future. I don't know what it's like to live with no regrets or without dreams, and I write poetry because I can't sing, and when I dance, it looks like I'm trying to kill a bee without getting stung. And I read these words from a notebook because I cannot memorize, but I've become mesmerized by how ink changes a page. I'm no Whitman or Poe, Dickinson or Angelo, Wheezy or Taylor Swift, but I write to remain, putting the pen to the paper to keep from causing a ripple in a rift. Writing, it's the cheapest form of therapy. Saving my pocket singles and dimes so I can buy coffee to fuel this dream, sipping myself closer to clarity. And I'm chasing the heels of the future, and I thought I'd have life all figured out by now. But I've got more questions than answers. And all of my answers, they create fresh questions, a constant give and take, a swirling surrounding, the pounding within, but locked within. Faith outweighs both, pulling me closer to a forever, a restful peace growing beyond the deep, and deep down inside, hope pumps through my veins, coursing with creativity, causing a landslide of possibilities, reminding me that it's better for us to stay here together than leave alone. And I've been someone that I haven't liked, but for all I don't know, I know that grace kills guilt, grabbing my hand and leading me to a blank page to write with freedom and newfound glory. And I don't have all the right words to say, but clearly, got a lot of words to say. And some days I think that I say too much, but most days I know that I think too much. Is anybody else good at overthinking? Is anybody else good at lying? I mean, there's not a lot of... It's this constant moving within, the shaking and shifting of thoughts, getting myself lost within what-ifs, mixing myself up with mixtapes of mess-ups, replaying the wreckage of memories I've tried to lay to rest. And I'm second-guessing what I know to be true, and I know that I don't know much, but I've come to know that kindness isn't overrated. And telling you donuts are delicious is an understatement. I know I don't want to die with my eyes on a screen or get stuck somewhere in between hate and greed. I know our greatest response is often silence. And if you're quiet enough, you might be able to spread it, but I also know if something is beautiful, we should speak it. I know that weird and wonderful are more in common than just the W. I know that learning takes patience and patience takes learning. I know there's no shame in surrendering, and I believe humility requires community, and I know that the two sweetest words are welcome home. Welcome home, well. We'll come home and we will welcome you with arms and smiles wide, well. We'll come home and we will wash the dust from your feet and give you something to eat, well. Well, come home. We've been waiting for you. Welcome home. Thanks. Good morning, Trevecca. Again, my name is Tanner Olson, and I think it was oversold that this is a Netflix special. It's like T-Moon at Netflix, all right? So, we're going to try hard, but, not too hard, because that's not really my style. This morning, really what I want for us to do in this room together is something really hard, which is just to slow down and to be. I wrote a new book of poems and essays called Getting Through What You're Going Through. And in the book, what I really want is for the reader to see themselves in the words and to just kind of find rest right where they are. So this morning, to begin, what I want to do might be a little bit weird, but go with me on it. You invited a poet to come speak, okay? So first, what I need you to do is empty your hands and sit up straight and put your feet flat on the floor. And this is just a very simple exercise that I do most days. And we're just going to take some big, deep breaths together. So you can close your eyes if you want to. It's not weird. So just take a big, deep breath in together. And then exhale. And this time when you breathe in, think of the word grace. So breathe in grace. And exhale peace. And breathe in grace. And exhale peace. And breathe in grace. And exhale peace. Put down your phone. That lifeline turned leash. Step outside, shoes off, bare feet on welcoming ground. Let the grass preach peace to your skin. Let the air touch your face like it's trying to tell you, you are still alive. You are. Come back to yourself. You've been somewhere else, haven't you? Buried under lists, lost in endless headlines, suffocating under the pace of it all. Let yourself breathe. Slower, slower still, and then slower again, because rushing won't resurrect you. Drop the weight your shoulders are carrying. It's heavy, isn't it? This whole thing, living waiting, enduring, trying to hold it all together when you hardly know what together means anymore. Silence the noise, not just outside, but in. Turn the volume down on the fear, on the what ifs, on the not enoughs. Cut through the static and listen. Do you hear it? The birds, the wind, the whisper in the leaves, they're singing something ancient, something holy. Creation hasn't forgotten how to worship. Maybe we just forgot how to listen. Remember, not your failure, not your fears, but these: faithfulness, love, forgiveness, heaven, the empty tomb, grace upon grace upon grace. Look around. Goodness right there beside you, mercy moving in the margins. Life is still happening, still unfolding, even here, especially here. So be still in the silence, not because you are stuck, but because stillness is sacred. Inhale, exhale, repeat. Speak like God is listening, because He is. Listen like God is answering, because He is. Be still like God is with you, because He is. Thanks. It's true, you do have to clap after every single one, and for two reasons. Number one, well, first of all, some of you are trying to snap right now. We don't need to snap. You only snap when someone's in trouble, and I have enough regret in my own life, so please don't snap. One reason why you can clap is maybe because you liked it, or maybe because you thought that wasn't the worst thing that you've ever heard, okay? Or maybe you can clap. The second reason is because this is not your full-time job, and this is mine. My job is to write poetry. Before I started writing poetry, though, I went to a small Christian college in Wisconsin. I grew up in Florida. Is anyone from Florida? All right. A little bit of weirdness happening in the room. I love it. I grew up in Florida, and then I went up to college in Wisconsin, and when I got there, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Did anyone else come to college not knowing what you wanted to do? You just wanted to get out of the house? I did too. All I knew that what was going to happen is that I was probably going to get into debt because I went to a small Christian college, and that's just kind of what happens. And when I got there, I decided, hey, I like words. Maybe I can be an English teacher. So I started taking some classes, and then I learned that to be an English teacher meant you had to be in the same classroom for about 180 days with like the same students, and that just felt a little bit like jail to me, and I wasn't ready to do time yet. And so I changed my major, and I thought, well, maybe I'll be a pastor. In the school that I went to, in order to become a pastor, you had to learn Greek and Hebrew. And those are just a bunch of like letters on top, or like lines on top of each other. And my brain doesn't really work that way. It does its own thing. It like looked at the page and said, absolutely not. So I changed my major again, but then I fell into that freshman depression, and I put on some sweatpants, and I thought, these are kind of nice. Maybe I'll be a PE teacher. But to be a PE teacher meant you had to talk about the human body, and I'm just not really the person who should ever be doing that. So I went to my advisor and I said, what is the fastest way that I can get out of college? And they were like, youth ministry. And I said, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in college. All I really knew at that point in my life was that I was gonna be poor. I just didn't know how. Right? And then I went home. I went back to Florida for winter break to thaw out from Wisconsin, to take a step away from the cheese curds. And I went to this concert in downtown Orlando at the House of Blues. It was something called Heavy and Light, put on by the organization To Write Love on Her Arms. And I was standing in the third row, and it was a night of music and conversation, and there was a poet. And the evening began with a poet walking to the edge of the stage and looking out to a room full of people. And he began to share a poem. And as he spoke, something inside of me unlocked. I felt seen. I felt known. I felt like this moment was for me. And in that moment, that night at the House of Blues in Orlando, I knew exactly how I was going to be poor. It's poetry, baby. All right. This next poem is titled, What Today Will Bring, and it goes like this. Once again, the morning arrives with new mercies. God takes his pointer finger and swirls the colors in the sky for us to see. Slow down and stay a while, I think he whispers. I'm with you. I know he says. It's as if God understands the day is about to groan loud. Sides shout, fingers point, to-do lists pile up, and grocery prices rise. Someone says something awful and someone else says something worse. Division works every angle to pull us apart. Lies are told, truth is wrestled, noise fills our ears, weight rests on our chests, anger finds and fills our veins, anxiety sneaks in, all while hope fights back. Hope is good at fighting back. Even these days, we wonder if everything will be okay. We forget God tells us everything will be okay. We forget what we want to remember and remember what we've tried to forget. Distraction and destruction demand our attention, and before we know it, we've wasted another day staring at screens. We question almost everything, but God never questions if he loves us. He does. So we hold fast and continue to bless those who curse us and pray for those who hurt us. We continue to confess our shortcomings and ask God for forgiveness. We continue to turn up our hands and show the world all that God has given us. We endure with mercy, hope, and love. We try to put our phones down and look up to see the colors God has swirled in the sky. We try to remember we can slow down and stay a while with the one who is with us. Because for all we do not know, God is with us. God is with you. Thanks. My friend told me that he knew what God's favorite word is. Do you know what God's favorite word is? It isn't love. It isn't mercy. It isn't grace. It isn't sin. It isn't fear. It isn't hope. God's favorite word is through. As in, for it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. As in, for God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross. As in, for from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Amen. As in, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Ask me what I know, and I will tell you that God will get you through what you're going through, because through it all, God, God is with you. This is a short poem titled The Other Side of This. Someday, you'll be on the other side of this. You'll have new ground under your feet and a different view in front of you, but the same hope burning inside your chest. Behind will be what was, and you'll wonder how you made it through. But you made it through. Someday, and maybe even today, you'll marvel at the kindness of God, how he can bring you through to the other side, how he can give a new song to old lungs, how he can turn dead ends into beautiful beginnings. And keep going, and let your hope continue to burn, and someday you'll once again be on the other side of this. Thanks. What's life like for you these days? That's a question I find myself asking again and again and again, because if you ask somebody how they are doing, we often get pretty terrible answers, don't we? Like, you have this conversation about 400 times a day while you're walking around campus. You walk by somebody and you say, hey, how are you doing? And what do they say back to you? Good. How are you? They want to get it off themselves as fast as possible. Like, this is not a therapy session. I'm not paying for this right now. How are you doing? Don't ask me how I'm doing. Most often when we're asked how we are doing, we hear someone say, fine, good, great, busy. Yeah, no, pretty good. Yeah, hungry, tired, better than I deserve. Has anyone ever told you better than I deserve before? It's usually like someone's dad. They'll shake your hand like, better than I deserve. And you're like, it's because you have a 401k, you know? Like, we don't know what that is. But often we aren't given a real answer. We say we're good, but but we're not. We say we are busy, and we are, but it's also because, I don't know about you, but we're anxious, or we're wrestling with this secret fear, and then we want to throw it back on the other person, or they throw it back on us, and we say exactly what they just say. We say, fine, good, great, busy, yeah, no, pretty good, yeah, hungry, tired, better than I deserve. But let me ask you today, how are you really doing? I had some help, and I passed out a couple of these slips of paper, and I got some answers from a few of you in the room. And maybe this connects with you as well. Here's the thing that you already know about me, is that I don't know that much. But I do know that it is a lot to be a human being. At any age, at any stage, it is a hard thing to be a human, but what a gift it is to be here and to be alive. And sometimes we just want to skip to the good part, or jump to the good part, or say everything will be okay, but for a moment, we can hold ourselves still that everything is not as it should be. What's life like for you these days? Very stressful. Grieving my grandma, balancing classes, missing family because they are far away. I'm going into a fun season of life, but it's hard right now. I'm graduating and getting married this year. Congratulations. So it's very stressful, but I know it'll be worth it. I'm honestly doing great. Cool brag, very helpful. I'm just trying to navigate through perfectionism, asking myself, how can I be easy on myself? And is God really the center of my life? How can I avoid making progress an idol in my life? I'm content with life, but financial struggles are always present. Anyone else feel that? This one just says, busy, chaotic, stressful. It's the trifecta of college, right? That's like the number one on the menu. Does anyone else feel busy, chaotic, stressful? Does anyone else have no idea what's going on? Not in this current moment, although we can do that. But is anyone else just I have no idea what's happening in this life? That's a normal thing. You don't outgrow that. Sorry. I've got a lot of work. I've got a lot to handle these days. Lots of stress and things to balance with school and trying to deepen my faith. My life is filled with questions, with new seasons. There are so many questions. I'm trying to be a good steward of what I have and the chapter that I'm in. Like I said, it is a lot to be a human being. It's hard to be here. A few years ago, my wife and I were walking through unexplained infertility, which basically we wanted to start a family, and a doctor said that's not going to happen for you guys. And so after we entered into this season of grief, of longing, of asking God how and why is life like this for us? What is life going to become? When something happens in your life that you didn't see coming, you often enter into this season of grief or of guilt. And we have a hard time handling grief or putting it into words. But I know for many of you in this room, you've walked through seasons of grief, or you're in the middle of a season of grief, and we have a hard time talking about that. Have you ever sat across from somebody before and spilled your heart to them and said this is the heavy thing, the hard thing that's happening in my life, and they look at you and they say something like, could be worse? Has that ever happened to you? It's maybe the worst thing that you could probably say to somebody when they tell you, hey, here's the heavy thing that's happening in my life. It's hard to respond to heaviness. And we see how Jesus responds to heaviness, but how do we respond to heaviness in our day-to-day, in our communities, and the people that we're with? So I sat across from my friend. His name is Phil. Phil and I are very different people. He would never try to write a poem, and I would never try to do Phil's job. He does things with numbers and businesses and stuff like that, and that's just not going to happen for me. He thinks with his head, and I think with my heart. But we sat down at the table together, and I told him what we were walking through, how we were in the middle of the adoption process, waiting for God to answer our prayers. I told him about the heaviness, the things that we walked through. And Phil is not a man of feelings. They're there, but he likes to stuff them down. It's one of his spiritual gifts. And then he looked at me. We sat across the table from me, and he told me the best thing that I have ever heard in response to grief, in response to heaviness, in response to the question of what's life like for you these days. I hate this for you. That's all he said. All he said was, I hate this for you. I don't know what life is like for you right now, these days, but I do remember what it was like to be in college. I remember feeling homesick, behind, scared, nervous, fearful about the future. I remember watching all of my friends get answers to the prayers that I was praying, wondering why, how, when. And so whatever it is that you're going through right now, there are like 900 things I want to tell you, but I just want to tell you the one thing. If it's a hard season, I hate this for you. But even in that, you're not alone. One thing that I would often tell people is when they would tell me what life was like for them, everything's going to be okay. Has anyone ever told you that before? But it just kind of feels flat, like it doesn't land. It like pats you on the back, but like you're bleeding out, and you're like, that's not super helpful. When I say everything will be okay, what I mean is, in the end, everything will be okay. Along the way, it will not all be okay. You already know this. There will be sadness and death and failure. There will be brokenness and moments that feel beyond repair. There will be pain and fear and unwanted changes to your story. There will be seasons when you feel far from okay and moments when you wonder if the last line of this poem is true. And of the little I know, one thing I know for sure, through it all, there's hope. And hope invites us to lean in and hold fast to a light that continues to last. It moves us to love and dream and give and continue and stay for another day. It leads us to pray and forgive and cling to grace and believe the last line of this poem is true. Everything will be okay, even if everything isn't okay today. Thanks. Do you like pancakes? Love pancakes. We love pancakes so much we named our dog Pancake. However, this is not about our dog. If it was, it would be pretty dark, because this is about eating pancakes. All right. Maybe we don't do that joke next time. Take that one off. Delete this one right now. This is an essay titled "One Single Pancake." And has anyone ever been to Fenwick's 300? Wow, their marketing's not doing super great at Trevecca. I am here on behalf of Fenwick's, and I want to let you know they have really, really good pancakes, and you're really going to like them. It's great. They will fill you up, and then you will want to take a really big nap. And if you're wondering, is this guy just killing time while he tries to find it? Yes, but I found it. Here we go. Do you know what you want? Just one single pancake. One single pancake? Yes. Blueberries, chocolate chips? Nope. Just the one single pancake, please. One single pancake it is. Thank you. This was the first conversation I had today. I woke up craving a pancake and decided to go to a local diner to satisfy my need. I sat alone at the bar and sipped on black coffee and read The Inner Voice of Love by Henry Nouwen as I waited for my pancake to arrive. Nouwen's words are honest and hopeful. Every page of the book seems to have something I need to hear and hold on to. Just as the waiter refilled my mug, I underlined these words: Jesus is where you are, and you can trust that he will show you the next step. I faced the front door and the long line of recently washed windows. I watched as people parked their cars and dragged themselves through the front door. Humans look like zombies in the morning. No offense. Everyone is tired and trying and ready to say a 2-word prayer to their server: coffee, please. When I sit alone at restaurants, I let myself see the entire room. I am curious and easily distracted and good at doing both. If people watching were a sport, Not to brag, I'd have a lot of trophies. I've learned that when I sit with others, I need to have my back to the world so they can have my full attention. If we go to a restaurant with that has TVs, you can kiss the conversation goodbye. I watched as a silver Tesla parked 3 spaces from the front door. A man with a top knot got out first, and then his wife, and then their young son. The man and woman looked like they needed coffee and a nap. I wanted to tell them that they were doing great, but if someone looks like they need coffee and a nap, they don't need a conversation with a stranger. That's a life lesson. On opposite sides of the restaurant sat pairs of men. 2 at a table to my right, 2 at a table to my left. One table was chatting about finances and business and stocks and blah, blah, blah. The other table was talking about the NBA playoffs. My ears perked up. If you start talking about NBA basketball near me, I'm going to listen. And if appropriate or inappropriate, I'm going to join your conversation. I'll be over here afterwards if anyone wants to talk. The waiter brought my one single pancake with a smile and asked if I needed anything else, and I didn't. I had all that I needed. The restaurant began to fill up, and so did I. Pancakes can find every empty space of your body and fill it full. When you eat a pancake, you feel joy, but soon that joy turns into drowsiness. No one has ever eaten a pancake and thought, now I have energy for the rest of the day. I continued reading my book, but I kept flipping back to those 17 words. Jesus is where you are, and you can trust that he will show you the next step. And lately, I've been thinking about trust. Life doesn't look the way I thought it would, and this has slowly sent me spiraling. Yet the invitation to trust Jesus remains. It always remains. Trusting is tiring work. It's as exhausting as it is beautiful, yet every day I find myself opening my hands and saying to God, I trust you, and most days I even mean it. Henry Nouwen was right. Jesus is present with us, and he will show us the next step. And sometimes I have to sit in the corner and turn my back to the world to remember that this is true. And sometimes I have to turn around and look back on my life and see how Jesus has been present with me, showing me the next step. And sometimes I have to go to a diner, order a pancake, and sit in silence and let those 17 words from page 18 roll around in my head. Jesus is where you are, and you can trust that he will show you the next step. Thanks. Like I said, when I was in college, I had no idea what was going on, and I thought as soon as I graduated from college, I would know exactly what was going on. That might be true for you, but in the words of Charles Barkley, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. I just don't think, it's a lot to be a human being. When I was in college, one of my first classes that I took, one of the things that helped get me into poetry is we took a class on the Psalms. And every day we'd go into this class, and we would read Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23 has 55 Hebrew words in it. What this means is that it forms this numerical center of this psalm. The middle of this psalm, it means something. And if you were to zero in on the center of Psalm 23, the heart of this poem, what David is trying to get at are these 5 words. For you are with me. There are exactly 26 Hebrew words before and exactly 26 Hebrew words after this. In the verses leading up to that phrase, the poet David speaks of God in the third person. He does this and he does that. But when we get to this numerical center, David, the psalmist, transitions into speaking to God directly in the second person. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, you do prepare. Psalm 23 opens with the Hebrew word Yahweh. And then 26 words later, the poet prays directly to the Lord, saying, you are with me. Then he follows it with 26 more words. We can't really see that in our translation, But in the Hebrew, the message of this psalm is clear. And the message for us this morning is this, that the abiding presence of the shepherd is with us, whether we're in the valley of the shadow of death or surrounded by enemies. You are not alone. When we are getting through what we're going through, the main message is found right in the middle of this psalm. For you are with me. One of my favorite poems in this book is titled The Love of Christ. And I started writing poetry because, well, you know why. I didn't make it to the NBA. That was the first big reason. And then I didn't want to be a school teacher. But something inside of me always wanted to tell people, to spread a little bit of hope, to remind them that they're not forgotten or alone, that there is a God and that he loves you. And I've kind of found my way doing that through poetry. And I don't know what your way of spreading hope looks like. Maybe that's through writing or speaking or raising a family or going to school right now or whatever it is that you are hoping to go do. But with whatever it is that you go do, you are not alone. The center of Psalm 23 always remains true. You're not alone. And out of that, out of a response to the love and the kindness of God, we get to bring hope to others, or a moment of peace, to remind them that there is a God who is with them as well. Let the love of Christ wash you clean and make you whole and keep you close to hope. Let it empty your hands and fill your pockets. Let the love of Christ spill over and into the lives of the people around you. Let it remind you that you are forgiven and free, because that's what love does. Let the love of Christ give you confidence to step into the unknown with faith. Let it guide you through storms and valleys and Mondays and decisions you don't want to make. Let the love of Christ remind you of peace and goodness and mercy and grace and all the words you long to hear but have a hard time believing. Let the love of Christ be your foundation, and may you build upon it. Let it lead you to sing and confess and trust. Let the love of Christ give you ears to hear that nothing can separate you from his love. Let it bring you joy. And may that joy slow you down to see the beauty that surrounds you and me. Let the love of Christ meet your grief and your sorrow and your secrets. Let it send you to places you never thought you would go and into conversations you never thought you would have. Let the love of Christ be your home. Let it shine on those who need some light. Let the love of Christ break down your walls and grow your gardens. Let it change you again and again. Let the love of Christ point you to the truth, and let the truth bring you to your knees as you look up, give thanks, and say, Amen. Thanks. I got two more poems that I'd like to share with you all this morning. It's been so fun for me to get to be here with you all to share some poetry. How many of you don't like poetry? It's okay. I'm not that sensitive. Actually, super sensitive, very hurtful. I know poetry is not for everyone. I know that there are a lot of artists and creatives and creators in this room. And one thing that I've learned along the way is that what you do may not be for everyone, but it might just be for someone. And so it's okay to take that step into the unknown, to offer what you have, to give what you have. It's very okay to give what you have, because what you have to give might just remind somebody of that center part of Psalm 23, that they are not alone, that the God of the universe walks with them, loves them, and cares for them all day. This is a poem titled, This Is Not the End. I mostly wrote it just so I could share the last line of the poem. It's called Marketing. I'm trying to get you to come in for the whole thing, all right? This is not the end. You're just learning how to begin again. But there are some things you need to unlearn before you take another next step. There are some cobwebs and spiders to clear and to kill. There are lights to turn on and weeds to pull and seeds to plant. There are wounds to kiss and lies to meet with the truth, like you're not the only one who feels the way you do. You're not the only one who feels like you are behind or running out of time. You are not the only one who feels lost or uncertain. You are not the only one who wants time to slow down or speed up or turn back. You are not the only one who is praying for change or who has no idea what's going on. You're not the only one who needs to hear you are loved and forgiven and worthy. You are not the only one trying to find the courage to take the next step, but you don't have to have the answer to take the next step. Life is not something you can win, but something you can enjoy. You can slow down and look around and remember all of this is a gift. And here you will hurt and hope. You will lose and love. You will start and end and get lost and try again. And you, no matter how hard it is to believe, you'll be okay. So before you move on to the next thing, pause and sit with what is just for a moment. Open your hands and let go of what you're holding tight. Breathe deep and exhale the heaviness that's been trapped inside. Before you move on, find yourself in these words. Life is not a race, and you are not behind. Thanks. I've got one more poem to share with you all. This is a poem titled Go On. It's, well, hopefully you like it. I like it. Afterwards, if you want to say hello, I'll be hanging out over here. And we also have some, are you going to talk about the books? I can talk about the books? There are 50 copies of the books and some stickers up here, and I believe it's take it as you want it. And then I'll be over here if you want a book signed. If you want to keep up with me on the internet, it's right there. Thanks so much for listening. One of the best gifts that you can give somebody is your time and your presence. So thank you for giving that to me this morning. I hope that this time was restful for you as well. This is a poem titled Go On. Thanks again for hanging out. It means a lot. Go on and wake up early. Say a prayer. Make your usual cup of black coffee. Put a piece of bread in the toaster and toast it until it's golden brown and not a second earlier. I know it's hard to wait, but wait. It's almost ready. Smear Land O'Lakes butter across the top and don't be stingy. Life is too short to be stingy. Forget your phone. You don't need it to thank God. You don't need it to sip coffee. You don't need it to enjoy the last buttery bite of toast. It's a perfect bite. Say amen. Touch your toes or try or tell them that you're going to get them in heaven. Go for a walk. If you want, do the same walk you did yesterday. As you go, walk a little slower. Wave to the children, pick up the trash, wave to the neighbors, smile. Always remember to smile. Don't be creepy, but smile. Look up at the sky. It's still there. It was there yesterday too. Did you see it? God made the sky. God made the clouds. God made the birds. You can wave to them too. Do you see the trees? They're changing and changing and changing, just like you, season after season, growing through storms, swaying in the sunlight. Look at the trees and remember how they came to be. Like your faith, it all started with a little seed, and remember how beautiful it is to believe. And at night, step outside one last time. Watch the sun fall into the silence of the horizon, a daily reminder that we were made to rest and rise and repeat. Rest, rise, and repeat. Feel the light of the setting sun dance on your skin. You are alive. You are covered in grace. You are seen. You are known from your head to the toes you cannot touch. From your insides where the coffee mixes with golden brown toast to your outside where the light hugs your skin like an old friend saying hello. From your waking to your sleeping, from your wondering to your realizing, from season to season, from your first breath to your last, you are significant. You are. Go on. Thank you.
1,000 generations are falling down in worship to sing the song of ages to the Lamb. And all who've gone before us, and all who will believe, will sing the song of ages to the Lamb. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all. All thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name stands above them all.
And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. And if you've been forgiven, and if you've been redeemed, we'll sing the song forever to the Lamb. And if you walk in freedom, and if you bear His name, we'll sing the song forever to the Lamb. Oh, we'll sing the song forever and amen. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. Hear your people sing, holy, to the King of Kings, holy, you will always be, holy, holy forever. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all. All thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name stands above them all. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all. All thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name stands above them all. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. Hear your people sing, holy, to the King of Kings, holy, you will always be, holy, holy forever. You will always be, holy, holy forever.
our joy, and in the midst of all the things in between, you are still our creator, and he is still our sustainer, and he is still our redeemer. May he open our eyes to see him because he is ever present. May we be reminded to look, and may we experience him in new and exciting ways today and forevermore. May you go in peace this morning, and not a peace that comes from within you, but a peace that comes through him. Amen. Remember, there are books up here if you would like to come and grab one, or if you would like to come talk to Tanner. You are more than welcome to. Have a wonderful day, friends.